Hey everyone, this is going to be the first of a three-part series that we're going to do just to give our thoughts on the carnivore diet. And the reason we're doing this is just because a lot of our followers have questions about this, especially as more and more podcasts come out on the carnivore diet. They just want to hear what our thoughts on it are. And specifically, why is it successful? How does it affect the gut, and what are the risks of eating such high amounts of protein? And so we're kind of going to tackle each of these in their own separate videos so that we have a little three-part series that's just our thoughts on carnivore. And so to start, a lot of people who go on a carnivore diet see a lot of success in many ways. I don't think that that's debatable. They change their diet, they go carnivore, they lose a ton of weight, their GI issues clear up, they feel amazing. So, I mean, why? What's going on there?
Well, let's first hit on why they lose weight, which is like, duh, but go ahead.
So why do they lose weight? Well, what's a carnivore diet? It's basically just eating animal foods. And what are animal foods rich in? Protein. And so people adopt a carnivore diet and they're basically adopting a high protein diet.
Yeah, it mimics like a protein sparing modified fast to me.
Yeah, depending on how much fat they get in their like choices of meat. I know a lot of them do go out of their way to eat fat with their meat, and that's going to provide more calories. But again, depending on how you adopt it.
Yeah, some people don't.
Yeah, some people don't. And in that case, it's just basically a protein-sparing modified fast. And I mean, you're going to see benefits when you do this because you're eliminating all hyperpalatable junk food. And even if you're eating fattier cuts of meat, it's basically you're just eating a bunch of bland, high-protein food. And that's going to do wonders for reducing body fat while helping to maintain your lean body mass. And so, yeah, you're going to see success when it comes to your body composition, like without a doubt. But that's not like an intrinsic value to a carnivore diet. That's a value of eating a high protein diet. And one could easily obtain
a low
those.
Calorie diet.
Yeah, and one could easily obtain those results, including incorporating plants into their diet. They don't need to be carnivorous.
But the reason why these people usually omit the plants is because of digestive issues.
Because the plants bother their digestive system. And so that's another short-term marker, is they have symptomatic relief from, irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel diseases, whatever. Yeah. And I mean, that's expected. Meat is highly digestible. Animal products are over 90% digested and absorbed in the small intestine compared to 60 to 80% plant foods. And so, I mean, you're basically removing potential irritations from hitting your colon and your large intestine. And that's going to provide a lot of symptomatic relief for people who have irritable bowel syndrome and inflammatory bowel diseases.
But let's remind the listeners that symptom management doesn't mean that you're curing anything. You're not fixing anything, and you're probably causing more issues.
Yeah, so it's a great point because, you are just managing symptoms, and that's something to keep in mind. It doesn't mean your condition has gone away.
The issue that I see with managing symptoms that way, though, is that you create more long-term issues as far as health markers.
Well, you certainly can, definitely, depending on, what diet you're using to manage symptoms and everything. In the case of carnivore, and we'll touch on this more in the next episode when we talk specifically about how it impacts the gut, but there is potential for adverse effects to occur. But yeah, you're definitely going to experience short-term symptom relief. Even people who say they've been constipated and adding fiber didn't help, and then they go carnivore, suddenly they have regular bowel movements. And it's because everyone's bodies kind of responds to plant matter and different types of plants in different ways. And so, I mean, if you just remove it entirely, the data pretty clearly shows that low fiber diets overall contribute to constipation. But for a subset of people, it could also be the causal factor, right? Everyone's going to have kind of different responses. And so it's not appropriate to generalize your individual experience to everyone, but it is important to recognize that you might not fit the status quo that applies to a population in general. And so, I mean, to wrap up this first episode, why do people experience success when they go on a carnivore diet? It's because it's a high protein elimination diet.
Yeah.
They remove insulting compounds they might respond negatively to, and they eat a ton of protein. And this is going to...
This would happen if you did a different diet too that addressed those things. Like,
yeah.
It's nothing special to the carnivore diet.
You're going to have very obvious short-term beneficial manifestations. But you can't get caught up in those because that's not the whole picture. I mean, that's important, right? And I think we both agree that a carnivore diet is one form of a diet that could be used therapeutically in the short term to help somebody.
Yes.
But as we'll get into in the next 2 episodes, it's not something you want to do long term. And we'll explain why. So,
Perfect.
With that being said, if you like this video, then awesome. That's what we're trying to do. And if you know someone who you think this series would help out, then please share our videos with them. Thanks.
Bye.